Chapter 51, Chapter 51, Chapter 51, Mysterious Key. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 51, Chapter 51, Mysterious Key, Translator, 549690339. Jiang Xiaobai reassured himself, not to give up, not to feel disheartened. Afterward, he began to examine closely his surroundings, thinking that he could still find some good stuff this way. Even if he didn't, it was just a bit of time wasted. After looking around the small hill, he did find some spiritual medicine. The effort was not without its rewards. After a full round outside, Jiang Xiaobai turned his sights to the entrance of the cave dwelling. Although the valuable items inside had been taken away, it didn't mean he wouldn't go inside and check. Jiang Xiaobai even thought that his previous doubts were unnecessary. This place had been discovered for quite some time, and any benefits would have been picked clean. At this point, what could he gain from coming here? However, since he had already begun to check and was now at the entrance of this cave dwelling, he might as well take a look, since it wouldn't waste too much time. With that, Jiang Xiaobai stepped inside. The cave dwelling was a bit shabby, with only a small yard and 2 rooms. Other than that, there was nothing. He even found that the doors of the rooms had been taken away, which made him feel surprised. After examining the dwelling carefully, Jiang Xiaobai didn't find any useful items. All he saw was an empty space, literally nothing to investigate. It could be described as 4 bare walls. Just as he thought that there was no need to continue exploring the dwelling, the meandering veins record in his hand suddenly flew up into the air, flipping its pages, and a golden light appeared, transforming into a small orb of light in the air. The light orb flew to the floor of the room and stopped. Jiang Xiaobai's eyes lit up. Could there be a surprise here? He approached it, tapped the floor with his hand first, found nothing unusual, and then decided to use Earth Escape to investigate further. But when he was about to duck his head, his forehead had an intimate contact with the floor. It hurt, and he gasped for air. Damn it, this thing actually blocks the Earth Escape. Jiang Xiaobai's expression turned gruesome as the Feihong sword appeared in his hand. Jiang Xiaobai has zero tolerance for this kind of situation. If he couldn't dig into it, then it shouldn't blame him for being rough. Right then, he began to dismantle the dwelling. The sky spirit treasure in his hand became a pickaxe. It was indeed in sharp contrast to the sword, exceptionally sharp. The floor was blocking all magic and must have been specially treated. It was probably very hard, but in front of Feihong's sword in Jiang Xiaobai's hand, everything was like a cloud. Soon, a pit as high as half a person appeared before him. At the bottom of the pit, there was a box made of extremely hard material. Taking out the box, Jiang Xiaobai directly opened it, and a golden light almost blinded him. What the hell is this? Jiang Xiaobai exclaimed. Inside the box, he saw a key, shining brightly. He didn't know what material it was made of, but it felt heavy in his hand. Jiang Xiaobai toyed with it for a while, unsure of its use, but the owner of the dwelling had buried it here and had even made special arrangements around it, clearly considering it a treasure and not wanting anyone to find it. Jiang Xiaobai didn't give it much thought and threw the key into his storage space. After that, Jiang Xiaobai squinted his eyes and mulled over what could next. What would he gain? Immediately, he left the cave dwelling and started to fly using a spell, heading towards the next suspicious location. Not long after Jiang Xiaobai left, 2 people, wrapped in black bandages from head to toe, rushed into the cave dwelling. Afterward, they saw the pit that had been dug on the ground. The 2 exchanged a glance and turned pale in shock. We're too late. Somebody took the goods ahead of us. One of them clenched his fists and gritted his teeth, the other narrowed his eyes and stepped forward to touch the soil on the ground. This was just dug up. The guy who took the stuff mustn't have gone far. Let's go after them. Chase my ass. Do you know who took it? Is there any trace left here? How can you chase? The other sneered. Immediately, silence ensued in the room. The man squatting on the ground checking the pit raised his head. His voice was hoarse. This time, let it pass. Next time, if you dare to cross me again, I'll twist you into a pretzel and hammer you into the ground. The other man's eyes, the only ones visible on his face, flashed with embarrassment. He then cleared his throat. Well, big brother, I do have the means to track the person down, provided he left some breath here. There is, then it is okay. give me 2 hours, I could track them down. The two bandaged people then began to tamper, completely oblivious of Jiang Xiaobai, who had already moved on to another suspicious location, and the events occurring in the cave dwelling. He spent quite a while searching the suspicious area, even using the meandering veins record. Still, there was not a single clue, and out of frustration, he finally decided that there was no vein of or here. Damn it, are veins of or really that hard to find? Jiang Xiaobai raised his eyebrows, and his face revealed a look of sadness. Now, there was only one other likely place left, but it was far away, at least 100,000 miles from here. Sitting on the ground, rubbing his eyes, Jiang Xiaobai pondered for a while. Finally, he gritted his teeth and decided to go. Worst case scenario, I go there, and there is nothing. It's better than doing nothing. Who knows, there might be a treasure waiting for me. Jiang Xiaobai comforted himself in his heart, and then he set off at once. Chapter 52, Chapter 52, Chapter 52 Spring Lake City. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 52, Chapter 52 Spring Lake City, Translator, 549690339. Before setting off, Jiang Xiaobai made a trip to Xuanhuan City first, as he was not familiar with the surrounding terrain. Since his arrival on the Tianshan continent, Jiang Xiaobai only knew of Dragon Valley and Xuanhuan City, and was in the dark about many other things. This is also why he decided to nurture the Golden Pavilion, as having such a force work for him would be extremely convenient. Jiang Xiaobai walked into the Golden Pavilion and directly asked Qian de Bao for a map of the surrounding million miles. He had to admit, Qian de Bao's work was satisfactory. The map was extremely detailed, even indicating the distribution of various powers. Only after a cursory glance at the map did Jiang Xiaobai realize how vast the Tianshan continent truly was. According to Qian de Bao, the million-mile range depicted on the map was merely a corner of the Tianshan continent, known as the Eastern Region. The actual expanse of the Eastern Region was even greater. Planning to study these details on the road, Jiang Xiaobai left a bottle of purifying elixir behind and prepared to leave. But he was stopped by Qian de Bao. Sir, when will you return next? Qian de Bao asked cautiously, terrified of angering Jiang Xiaobai with his question. Jiang Xiaobai frowned. What is it? Well, our young master wishes to meet with you. There are some matters he would like to discuss with you. Would it be possible for you to spare some time? Wait for it. I'm quite busy lately, not sure when I'll come back next. With that, Jiang Xiaobai left the Golden Pavilion directly. He himself was entangled in big troubles currently and didn't have any time to discuss matters with a young master. From Jiang Xiaobai's perspective, since he was able to provide purifying elixir, they should at least introduce him to the head of their family, right? Thus, he didn't pay much attention to this, leaving Tianyuan City directly and studying the map as he rushed towards his destination 100,000 miles away. Considering his flight speed, it would take 2 days to get there, assuming he flew non-stop through the sky. Luckily, he could study the map during this time, making the journey less boring. The map depicted numerous organizations within this million-mile radius. As expected of a merchant group, the Golden Pavilion did a very thorough job, not only marking the location of these organizations, but also ranking them according to their strength. The rankings were divided into minor organizations, third-rate organizations, top-notch organizations, and transcendental organizations. Dragon Valley and 5 Lotus Mountain were naturally classified as transcendental organizations. But within this region, there were another 5 or 6 transcendental organizations, of which Jiang Xiaobai had never heard before. It seemed that this world was even greater than he had imagined. Based on his simple speculation, Jiang Xiaobai felt that his current strength as a late-stage Yuan infant, even in the top-notch organizations, should still hold a high position. However, he guessed it wouldn't mean much among the transcendental organizations. Having stayed in Dragon Valley for a long time, Jiang Xiaobai knew just how horrifying the foundations of these transcendental organizations were. It was not an exaggeration to say there were innumerable Yuan infants, and so, taking his time, Jiang Xiaobai finally arrived at a city near his destination. After roughly 2 days of travel, Spring Lake City, compared to Tianyuan City, Spring Lake City seemed like a child next to an adult. Its area and population were not large, and according to the Golden Dot Pavilion's classification, Spring Lake City was merely an insignificant force. Quickly, he entered the city and found a restaurant to sit down. He had already dropped his disguise, and currently looked no different from a weary, traveling scholar. "Sir, your meal is ready," the servant said, bringing the last dish and a pot of fine wine. "Please enjoy your meal, and don't hesitate to call if you need anything." While savoring the meal in the restaurant, Jiang Xiaobai listened to the conversations around him. In his opinion, the best place to gather information when arriving at a new place was a restaurant or a tea house. Having traveled for 2 days, Jiang Xiaobai enjoyed his meal and listened to the various voices around him, picking out useful information. "Did you hear? There's been another ghost incident near South Mountain." "How could I not hear? Apparently, Miss Li from the Li family had an accident while hunting. TSK. It's troublesome. South Mountain is haunted, but the city lord doesn't even invite an immortal to come and handle it. How are we common folk supposed to live under these conditions? I heard that yesterday, the city lord's mansion welcomed a distinguished person, an incredibly powerful immortal." In hearing these various discussions, Jiang Xiaobai paid particular attention to the above dialogues, and his eyes narrowed. Southern Mountain was exactly where he was headed this time. In the Jade Slip, it was said that the situation near Southern Mountain was rather complex, as there were many demonic creatures who had achieved spirituality. What was strange was that no matter how many cultivators slayed these demonic creatures, new ones would appear in a few years. The exact reason was unknown, because Spring Lake City was quite remote and barren, with few cultivators willing to come. Therefore, there were very few clues. However, Jiang Xiaobai felt that there was definitely something suspicious. Frequent appearances of spiritually developed demonic creatures clearly indicated the abundance of spiritual energy in the area, a necessary condition for this to happen. While enjoying his food, Jiang Xiaobai stored this information in his mind: the Li family in Spring Lake City, and the city lord's mansion that had invited an immortal. Feeling full and not having heard any more relevant information in the tavern where everything was geared towards the worldly, making South Mountain seem like a hell on earth, Jiang Xiaobai left a silver ingot on the table and left the restaurant. He had just arrived and decided to go to the Li family first to find out more about the current situation. He would have to stay in the city for 2 days now. Until the task was completed, Jiang Xiaobai could only stay within the city, otherwise he would have already gone to South Mountain. After much investigation, Jiang Xiaobai arrived at a grand mansion. Just by looking, one could tell that the Li family held a significant position in Spring Lake City. The mansion, which was usually open with full of servants at the gate, was now closed. Jiang Xiaobai made a mental probe and found that everyone inside the Dot mansion was rushing around. They were all entering and exiting a small Dot courtyard with worried expressions on their faces. At that moment, a group of people walked over from a distance. Jiang Xiaobai could sense the aura of a cultivator among them. Chapter 53, Chapter 53, Chapter 53. Unable to turn things around. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 53, Chapter 53. Unable to turn things around. Translator, 549690339. Soon, a group of people came to the front door of the Li mansion. The person leading the group was a middle-aged man with a square-shaped face, emitting an aura of authority. He knocked on the grand gate of the mansion before his attention was diverted to Jiang Xiaobai, who was standing not too far from the entrance. At this time, Jiang Xiaobai was in the disguise of a scholar who had traveled far and wide. The man just glanced at him before shifting his attention elsewhere. Jiang Xiaobai took this opportunity to observe the group. He noticed among them was an old man with a white beard and a Taoist robe. He was in the early stages of qi cultivation, just that his age was quite advanced, at least 100 years old. At that moment, the mansion's gate was swung open. Upon seeing the newcomer, the anxious look on the steward of the Li family diminished significantly. "Lord Sun, we've been expecting you. Please, save our young miss." Lord Sun Shoheng nodded. "Not to worry. This time I brought Taoist Changfeng with me. He surely has a way to help your young miss." "Thank you, Lord Sunday." "Thank you, Taoist Changfeng. I bow in gratitude on behalf of my young miss." As the steward was about to kneel and bow, he was quickly stopped by Sun Shoheng. We'll talk about that later. The priority now is to save her. Yes, yes, yes. Please follow me, Lord Sunday. The steward then led Sun Shoheng and the others inside. But when he was about to close the door, he noticed Jiang Xiaobai and after observing his attire, immediately realized what was going on. Young friend, you should come inside too. There haven't been many scholars coming here lately, and it's not very peaceful outside. Stay here tonight. Jiang Xiaobai nodded gratefully and followed the steward into the mansion. Before coming here, he had learned that the Li family held a high position in Spring Lake City as local gentry. They were also amicable, often aiding visiting scholars. Once inside the mansion, Jiang Xiaobai was escorted to a guest area, while the steward accompanied Sun Shoheng to a courtyard. While sipping his tea, Jiang Xiaobai observed the situation in the courtyard through his divine sense. Inside the small courtyard, a pale-faced teenage girl was sitting, surrounded by various doctors taking her pulse. There were also maidservants feeding her medicine. At that time, Sun Shoheng, along with Taoist Changfeng, entered the courtyard, and a kind-faced middle-aged man quickly walked over. Lord Sun, I implore you to help my daughter. The desperation was evident on Li Muzhou's face as he spoke. Muzhou, rest assured, Taoist Changfeng is revered as a celestial master, he certainly has means to save your niece. Sun Shoheng comforted him. Meanwhile, Taoist Changfeng, looking unperturbed, gently stroked his beard and said, Masterly, worry not. Allow me to examine her first. Immediately, Taoist Changfeng stepped forward, took the girl's wrist, and started examining her condition through a spiritual technique. She's been possessed by a demonic spirit. In just 3 seconds, Taoist Changfeng's face turned serious. The possession is quite severe. How long has it been? Celestial Master, it's been 3 days. Tears streamed down Li Muzhou's face, and he fell to his knees in front of Taoist Changfeng, repeatedly kowtowing, I implore you, Celestial Master, please save my daughter's life. I'm willing to serve you, even if it means giving up all of my fortune. The Taoist's expression became extremely grim, and he shook his head repeatedly. I'm afraid it's going to be difficult. If I had acted on the first day, it could have been easy to resolve. But now the girl's condition has deteriorated severely. The demonic spirit has infiltrated her heart meridian, and I'm powerless to reverse it. Upon hearing this, Li Muzhou's face turned pale. He knelt on the ground, his eyes filled with despair. Is there really no solution, Celestial Master? Li Muzhou muttered to himself. Taoist Changfeng shook his head. We do have solutions, but they are almost impossible to execute. Unless we can find someone with higher cultivation than me, or some miraculous elixir. Otherwise, we can only watch her wait for death. Those masters of high cultivation wouldn't be willing to help easily. Also, those miraculous elixirs are extremely precious and are beyond the measure of mortal wealth. After all, in the cultivators' circle, the most popular hard currency was spirit stones. Regardless of their quality, spirit stones were always in demand. Only cultivators in the Qi stage used mortal wealth. The entire courtyard fell silent. Everyone had a grim look on their face, especially Li Muzhou, who was filled with guilt and regret as he looked at his daughter. Blame me, it's all my fault. If I hadn't let you go hunting in the southern mountain that day, none of this would have happened. Li Muzhou cried in anguish. The young girl lying on the chair couldn't speak as the demonic spirit had invaded her heart meridian. For her, the mere act of living was the greatest pain. Masterly, I suggest you restrain your grief. Considering her condition, I believe it might be better to let her meet a peaceful end. If this continues, the torment she'll endure will only bring more suffering. Taoist Changfeng sighed. In Taoist Changfeng's view, this girl had no chance of survival as even his own strength couldn't help her. He could only wait for her death. Li Muzhou looked at his daughter with reluctant eyes. He hated to see his own daughter die like this, but he couldn't bear to see the demonic spirit continue to torture her either. After a long while, Li Muzhou bit his lip hard. Someone, bring me my knife. Upon hearing this, all the servants in the small courtyard were shocked. Once they realized what was happening, they fell to their knees. Master, please think again. Yes, Master, the young miss is still so young. Master, please wait a while longer. I know of a Taoist temple thousands of miles away. Perhaps the celestial master there could cure the young miss. You mustn't do anything rash. All the servants kneeled on the ground, repeatedly bowing toward Li Muzhou and begging him not to undertake any rash action. Li Muzhou closed his eyes, tears streaming down his face. Why are you all just standing there? Why haven't you brought me my knife? Are you all planning to watch Qingzhou suffer like this? Li Muzhou yelled, then he slowly walked over to Li Qingzhou, tightly holding her hand. Qingzhou, I know you're suffering. But I have no other choice. At this moment, the influential master of the Li family in Spring Lake City looked as helpless as a broken man. He seemed to have aged a decade in an instant. Li Qingzhou's tender face was streaked with tears. She used all her strength to nod, trying to assure her father, but the more she did so, the more heartbroken Li Muzhou became. Just then, a calm and abrupt voice sounded from the entrance of the courtyard. You don't have to do this. I think I have a way to cure her. Everyone's gaze instantly turned to the entrance of the courtyard, where a young man dressed as a scholar was standing with a smile on his face. Chapter 54, Chapter 54, Chapter 54, No one considers you a mute if you don't speak. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 54, Chapter 54, No one considers you a mute if you don't speak. Translator, 549690339. Upon seeing Jiang Xiaobai, everyone was stunned, especially Li Muzhou, whose face was full of disbelief. He couldn't believe his ears. Young man, do you truly know a way to save Qingzhou's life? Asked Li Muzhou hurriedly, his eyes full of eagerness. Jiang Xiaobai smiled lightly and nodded as he walked into the courtyard. Naturally. At that moment, Li Muzhou felt he was yanked out from the deepest pit of despair, feeling like he was riding a roller coaster. It's wonderful, Qingzhou can be saved. Li Muzhou exclaimed in excitement, eager to approach. Just then, Taoist Changfeng suddenly stopped in front of Jiang Xiaobai, a cold smile on his face. Arrogant, do you know what you're talking about? Taoist Changfeng scoffed, that girl has been completely taken over by evil energy, even her heart channels are filled with it. As a beginner at qi refining, you dare to speak so boastfully. What you cannot do, does not mean I cannot do. Jiang Xiaobai said calmly, as you mentioned, the situation can be resolved with the right herbal remedy. Nonsense. What medicine could you possibly have at your level of qi refining? Even I don't have access to such a remedy. Taoist Changfeng huffed, get lost and stop wasting everyone's time. After mocking Jiang Xiaobai, the Taoist then turned to Li Muzhou. Masterly, you shouldn't be so desperate as to trust any physician who comes along. This boy is just a beginner at qi refining. He certainly cannot produce any top-grade herbal remedies. I believe he heard the news and specifically came to deceive you. For a moment, Li Muzhou was stunned, unsure what to choose. He was already in complete despair. Now a glimmer of hope appeared from the abyss. Regardless of whether it would work, he had to try. But when he thought about Taoist Changfeng, a well-respected immortal within 1,000 miles, his words made sense too. Li Muzhou weighed both sides in his mind. Eventually, his love for his daughter overpowered his rationality. Taoist Changfeng, my daughter is critically ill. Regardless of whether this young man has a cure, I have to let him try. Otherwise, I'll fail my helpless daughter. Li Muzhou said with red eyes, besides, my daughter is already at death's door. Even if this young man cannot cure her, I'll have to accept it. Hearing this, Taoist Changfeng's face showed a grudging expression. He firmly didn't believe that Jiang Xiaobai had the ability. But if he object now, fear that he would get a bad reputation. I've said all that needs to be said. If you still don't believe and want to waste your effort, be my guest. But the greater your hope, the greater your disappointment. Don't blame me for not warning you. Taoist Changfeng waved his hand and huffed. Although this disdainful attitude was quite irritating, Li Muzhou didn't say anything. Instead, he looked at Jiang Xiaobai pleadingly. Young man, if you really can cure my daughter, I'll agree to any conditions you ask, even if it means being your servant. Li Muzhou was almost kneeling in front of Jiang Xiaobai. Jiang Xiaobai kept his calm and reassured him, "Don't worry, your daughter will be fine." That humph, ignorant boy, do you really think that any random pill can cure her? In such a situation, only top-grade pills can have an effect, otherwise, it would be in vain. Taoist Changfeng scoffed. He couldn't stop Li Muzhou, but it didn't mean he couldn't mock Jiang Xiaobai. He believed Jiang Xiaobai was just showing off to the crowd. Regarding the old man's mockery, Jiang Xiaobai chose to ignore it, walked to Li Qingzhou, and held her wrist. In fact, he had known about her condition long ago. His actions were just for show. But, unexpectedly, her talent was extraordinarily good. She had a divine spiritual root. Is this a pleasant surprise? Jiang Xiaobai chuckled in his heart. After a short examination, a round pill appeared in his hand with a flip of his wrist. "Young man, my daughter, be at ease, masterly. As long as she consumes this pill, she will recover immediately." Jiang Xiaobai said with a smile, Good, thank you, young friend. Thank you." Li Muzhou was extremely excited. His eyes were glued to the pill in Jiang Xiaobai's hands, waiting for him to feed it to Li Qingzhou. At this time, the annoying voice rang again, "Tch, boy, what's this pill? How come I have never seen it before?" Taoist Changfeng sneered, "It seems like a rubbish pill made to cheat people. Is this fun for you?" Taoist Changfeng, "This young man is just trying his best, why do you have to be so hostile?" Li Muzhou said unpleasantly, "Why did you have to interfere when others were trying to save my daughter's life?" Jiang Xiaobai also narrowed his eyes. He had long wanted to scold this old man. "Old bastard, it's me who can save people now. Since you, an early-stage foundation builder, are helpless, please stand aside. If you don't want to say anything, no one will take you as a mute. Or, do you not want Master Li's daughter to recover?" With his accusation, the atmosphere in the courtyard instantly changed. All of Master Li's servants looked angrily at the Taoist. They didn't care who he was. All they knew was that they were expendable. If you dared to prevent their young lady from getting better, they would fight you till the end. Even the nearby city lord, Sun Shouheng, couldn't stand it anymore and suggested tactfully, "Taoist Changfeng, why not just let the young man have his way? He might really have a solution." All of a sudden, the face of Taoist Changfeng turned red. He was not against saving the girl. He just disliked a novice qi refiner trying to teach him. With no other options, Taoist Changfeng had to remain silent, yet his gloomy eyes clearly showed his dislike for Jiang Xiaobai. Probably he was planning how to kill him. To this, Jiang Xiaobai naturally didn't care. He could easily kill the early-stage qi refiner. Jiang Xiaobai didn't waste any more time. The pill was something he had casually refined just now. Although it wasn't a precious pill, it was easily capable of eliminating the evil energy. Everyone watched as Li Qingzhou, with great effort, barely opened her mouth to contain the pill, but she didn't even have the strength to swallow it. Luckily, the pill dissolved as soon as it entered her mouth and quickly transformed into pure spiritual energy. Within seconds, it completely dissolved the evil energy in her body. Thump. Li Qingzhou suddenly spat out a mouthful of black blood and then fell into a deep unconsciousness. The blood she spat corroded the ground, creating big holes where it splashed. Witnessing this scene, everyone in the courtyard felt their hair standing on end. Chapter 57, Chapter 57, 1 AM Taoist Changfeng. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 57, 1 AM Taoist Changfeng, translator, 549690339. After seeing Taoist Changfeng off, Jiang Xiaobai wasn't bothered by anything. However, Li Qingzhou, that wild girl, was so excited that she couldn't stop hopping and prancing around the hall. She mumbled to herself as she paced back and forth. "I can't wait to see the immortals battle tomorrow," she exclaimed. "Should we keep our distance? I've heard tales from the storyteller at the tea house in the east of the city that the shockwaves from an immortals battle can instantly kill any human. Or perhaps I should dress up. This could be the closest I'll ever get to an immortal in my life." Jiang Xiaobai, with his sharp hearing, was privy to Li Qingzhou's chatter and his head began to throb as a result. It was clear that tomorrow, Taoist Changfeng would rope him into his plans. However, Jiang Xiaobai was not a man to be ordered around. Years of watching television dramas had taught him to be the one in control. He'd never been bossed around before. He shook his head, ignoring the excited Li Qingzhou, and retreated to his room to think things over. He wasn't contemplating how to go about Taoist Changfeng's scheme, as he was confident about being able to handle it effortlessly. The issue at hand was quite complicated. From the information he'd gathered, a formidable demon resided in the South Mountain, but he knew not how powerful it was or if there were more such demons. One thing was sure, South Mountain was not a simple place. Even without any spirit stone veins, it was able to harbor a strong demon for years. He was lucky that the demon hadn't stirred up trouble, for if the demon's presence were to become known, it was likely that many cultivators would group together to form a demon-slaying alliance and target it. This was not just about reputation, but also about the valuable goods one would obtain from the demon's death. Powerful demons like that, leave out the demon core, even its parts alone would be worth a fortune. Even if the profits had to be split among a group, it would still amount to a substantial sum. Many freelance cultivators made a living this way. Not everyone had the liberty to spend recklessly like A.O. Cheng. After contemplation that seemed to last for an eternity, Jiang Xiaobai dozed off while leaning against his headboard. At daybreak, as Jiang Xiaobai stepped out of his room, he saw Li Qingzhou, who had changed into beautiful attire, waiting for him outside. Li Qingzhou was a pretty girl with delicate features. She wasn't overtly stunning, but she had a charm that became more apparent the more one looked at her. Cloaked in a pale purple bodysuit that accentuated her curvaceous figure, she was a sight any man would relish. Brother Xiaobai, how do I look today? Li Qingzhou asked teasingly, posing provocatively to accentuate her figure. Jiang Xiaobai coughed awkwardly. Not bad, but are you sure you're all right with this get-up? Why not? Pretty clothes are meant to be shown off, Li Qingzhou replied confidently. Jiang Xiaobai gave her a symbolic thumbs-up in his mind. Her thought process was surprisingly modern for a place like this. Without wasting much time, they quickly had their breakfast and left for the city lord's mansion along with the Li family. On their way, they noticed many civilians heading in the same direction. Upon inquiry, they found out that the city lord's mansion had broadly announced that everyone was invited to witness Taoist Changfeng's demon slaying. The prospect of seeing an actual immortal fight was enormously attractive to mortals. Who wouldn't jump at the chance to see it for themselves after hearing about such battles and tales? Jiang Xiaobai inwardly nodded his approval. It seemed like Taoist Changfeng was indeed a master showman, and enjoyed being the center of attention amongst the bystanders. Soon after, almost half of the population of Spring Lake City had gathered outside the city lord's mansion. The city lord, Sun Shoheng, was very pleased with the turnout. It was a clear testament to his trustworthiness in the eyes of the city's residents. Taoist Changfeng, it is about time, why don't we get going? Sun Shoheng suggested. Close by, Taoist Changfeng was standing with his feather duster in hand, his other hand resting on his back. In front of the audience, he exuded an image of celestial grandeur. The rumored immortals truly are beyond our mortal comprehension, one commoner whispered. Indeed, look at the transcendent demeanor of Taoist Changfeng. I could never be like him, another added. That's why you're a barely literate farmer, and he's a revered immortal. A third commoner laughed. Standing on the elevated platform of the city lord's mansion, Taoist Changfeng basked in the discussion and admiration of the crowd, utterly enjoying the accolades. Taoist Changfeng, why are we not setting off yet? Just as Taoist Changfeng was luxuriating in the praises of the crowd, an incongruous voice cut through the air. Upon hearing this, Taoist Changfeng's face twitched. He turned to see Jiang Xiaobai wearing an innocuous smile. Young fellow, don't be so impatient. Although this Taoist can easily eliminate that demon, there's no need to rush. Taoist Changfeng nonchalantly replied. Jiang Xiaobai merely chuckled, keeping his thoughts to himself. After a while, Taoist Changfeng finally had his fill of the spotlight, gracefully waving his feather duster. Good people, I am Taoist Changfeng, here today to cleanse Spring Lake City of its demon. Fear not, he postured. Follow me now and witness everything with your own eyes. Once you see the demon slain, your hearts will once again find peace. Taoist Changfeng proclaimed with an air of divinity. The crowd, almost half the city, erupted in cheers, their faces flushed with excitement. They were itching to see how Taoist Changfeng would vanquish the demon. After flaunting his authority in front of the populace, Taoist Changfeng, along with son Xuanhuan, led the group toward South Mountain. He looked so powerful. "Brother Xiaobai, are you stronger than him?" Li Qingzhou asked, her eyes sparkling with curiosity as she looked at Jiang Xiaobai. Jiang Xiaobai simply smiled and remained silent. What was even the point of comparing? And so, the group followed Taoist Changfeng and several city guards. After around half an hour, they finally arrived at the foot of South Mountain. Standing at the foot of the mountain, they could all see a dense cloud of black smoke hovering in the sky. Just witnessing this from afar triggered a wave of suffocation. The physically weaker commoners couldn't help but step back, as if fearing their deaths if they ventured any further. All the commoners present had solemn expressions on their faces. The city lord, son Xuanhuan, was furrow-browed, regarding South Mountain as a man-eating beast, causing his heart to palpitate. "Taoist Changfeng, are you sure it's safe?" Son Xuanhuan instinctively sought reassurance. Taoist Changfeng, as always, looked calm. "Fear not. You all remain here at the foot of the mountain, and I shall slay the demon lurking within and present its head at the city gates." These words gave everyone a sense of security. With Taoist Changfeng present, South Mountain didn't seem that dangerous after all. Chapter 58, Chapter 58, Chapter 58, Sinister Schemes. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 58, Chapter 58, Sinister Schemes, Translator, 549690339. Taoist Changfeng turned to Jiang Xiaobai. "Kid, if you don't want to miss a good show, follow me up the mountain." Jiang Xiaobai nodded without uttering a word. The old and young set off for the South Mountain one after another. Suddenly, a roar that shook the forest rang out. Everyone felt a painful ache in their eardrums, and many even bled from their 7 orifices due to the shock of the roar. All the ordinary people backed away instantly. The forest was startled by this roar, and startled birds flew about. Their cries echoed alongside the elusive black smoke enveloping the South Mountain, making everyone tense. A creature covered in yellow fur jumped about and quickly appeared atop a tree branch in front of the crowd. Everyone saw the form of the monster. Clearly at this point, standing there was a humanoid figure covered in yellow fur, muscular beneath the fur, with a tiger's head on its neck. Roar. The tiger demon appeared and roared furiously at the people in front of him, spreading an invisible demon aura directly toward the ordinary people. "Humph, audacious tiger demon, daring to act wildly in front of me?" Taoist Changfeng snorted coldly. With a wave of his dust whisker, a spiritual power emerged, instantly blocking the incoming demon aura. "The immortal is mighty. Such skills truly befit an immortal. Please, immortal, slay this tiger demon and bring peace back to our Spring Lake City. The immortal can easily get rid of it." Taoist Changfeng greatly enjoyed these praises from the ordinary people behind him. It allowed him to truly appreciate the benefits of cultivation. This late-stage chi-refining tiger demon with merely mediocre power dares to wreak havoc here. "Today, I must slay you." Taoist Changfeng casually snorted, emitting the aura of a cultivator in the early foundation building stage. Although there's a single-step difference between the late chi-refining stage and the early foundation building stage, their power levels were as different as heaven and earth. After reaching the foundation building stage, 1,000 chi refiners wouldn't be a match. The power difference between the two was vast. Indeed, when Taoist Changfeng released his aura, the tiger demon showed a hint of wariness, not acting recklessly. However, it stood still on the branch, neither advancing nor retreating, seemingly waiting for Taoist Changfeng to make a move. "Kid, crossing paths is a form of fate. I will severely wound this tiger demon later, then you can practice your hand." Taoist Changfeng turned to Jiang Xiaobai. "Don't worry, with me watching your back, the tiger demon won't be able to hurt you." Jiang Xiaobai sneered inwardly at this. Did they think he was a fool? "I used to think this old man might have some tricks up his sleeve, but it seems I was mistaken." "All right then, please make your move, Taoist Changfeng," Jiang Xiaobai said with a smile, a hint of excitement in his eyes. Seeing this, a smile crept onto Taoist Changfeng's face. He is indeed still too green, unaware of the dangers of this world. Does he really think I would kindly assist him in increasing his power? Taoist Changfeng sneered inwardly. He seemed to have already visualized the scene where he obtained many good items from Jiang Xiaobai's body. The very thought of this made him want to laugh. However, after all, he had been cultivating for 100 years. How could he achieve a foundation building if he didn't have at least this much composure? Taoist Changfeng then looked at the tiger demon not far away and sneered coldly, "Tiger demon, today, I will let you witness what a foundation building cultivator is capable of, and what power truly is." Taoist Changfeng snorted coldly, "Consider this the price for your mayhem, hand over your life." As soon as his words fell, Taoist Changfeng swung his dust whisk in the air. Accompanied by his movement, a whirlwind appeared in the air and swept towards the tiger demon. The whirlwind's power was astonishing. Even though the tiger demon anticipated such an attack and tried to shield itself with its hands, it was still wounded all over by the whirlwind, bloody and mangled. Seeing this, the ordinary people who had never seen a cultivator in action were repeatedly exclaiming in surprise. Li Qingzhou's eyes widened as he stared fixedly, his eyes full of admiration. Seeing this, Taoist Changfeng's mouth lifted slightly. He swung his dust whisk harder, intensifying the whirlwind. A small tornado then appeared in the air. The tornado immediately enveloped the tiger demon. Its flesh was ripped apart, presenting a gruesome sight. Jiang Xiaobai watched from the side, sneering in his heart. This whirlwind might look fierce, but the actual damage it inflicted on the tiger demon was insignificantly small. It had merely scraped off some flesh, and had not significantly impacted the tiger demon's fighting strength. Roar. The tiger demon roared in the whirlwind, creating a ripple in the air with a wave of its arms, shattering all the whirlwinds. Its eyes turned blood-red as it glared at Taoist Changfeng, the one who had caused it so much pain. Taoist Changfeng snorted in his heart, not taking the tiger demon seriously, and turned his gaze to Jiang Xiaobai at his side. "Boy, this tiger demon has already been severely injured by me. Aren't you going to take action now?" Hearing this, before Jiang Xiaobai could respond, Li Qingzhou was already getting impatient. "Brother Xiaobai, you've got this. Look, the tiger demon is covered in blood. It must be badly injured. You can definitely slay it," Li Qingzhou encouraged. Jiang Xiaobai gave a cool smile. He knew what this old Taoist had in mind. He was just trying to senkel to ms Cleton. Unfortunately for him, he made a mistake. Jiang Xiaobai was not a mere qi refiner, he was a genuine yuan infant old monster, and a peak late-stage one at that. If he didn't give them a taste of their own medicine in response to such arrangements, he would be letting down his cultivation level. Jiang Xiaobai slowly stepped towards the already beaten and bloodied tiger demon. This youngster must be crazy. With such little power, he dares to go forward. Hasn't he experienced death yet? What he is doing? That tiger demon is obviously formidable. Even if it's heavily wounded, it's not something he can deal with. He should come back quickly. The people behind were all exclaiming in shock, none wanting to witness the moment Jiang Xiaobai is smashed into pieces by the tiger demon. But would Jiang Xiaobai be afraid? "Old Taoist, you must keep an eye on things for me. If there is any danger from this tiger demon, you must help me block it. Once the matter is settled, I will give you some good pills," shouted Jiang Xiaobai. "Rest easy, kid, I'm watching," Taoist Changfeng laughed. Meanwhile, he was thinking inwardly, "Go. Once you die, everything on you belongs to me." Jiang Xiaobai carefully approached the tiger demon, and just as he was about to make a move, the tiger demon suddenly let out a furious roar. With a powerful leap, it disappeared from its original spot in the blink of an eye. At this moment, Taoist Changfeng, who had been watching the drama unfold, suddenly shouted with an expression of shock on his face, "Kid, quickly come back. This tiger demon has not been seriously injured, it's pretending." Upon hearing these words, everyone present was shocked. They knew that the handsome young man was destined to die, but Jiang Xiaobai had been waiting for this moment. Chapter 59, Chapter 59, Chapter 59. He doesn't seem to be very strong. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 59, Chapter 59. He doesn't seem to be very strong. Translator, 549690339. I in the blink of an eye, the tiger demon had already appeared in front of Jiang Xiaobai. Its palm, as big as a cattail leaf fan, was already swinging down towards Jiang Xiaobai's head. Taoist Changfeng, who was watching this scene from behind, couldn't contain his exhilaration. Die, die, die. As long as you die, all the treasures on your body will become mine. However, against everyone's expectations, as the tiger demon's palm came swinging down, Jiang Xiaobai casually reached out and effortlessly grabbed the demon's wrist. At that moment, not only was Taoist Changfeng stumped, even the tiger demon was stumped itself. Jiang Xiaobai was clearly only at the early stage of qi refining, so how could he possibly withstand an attack from the tiger demon, which was at the later stage of qi refining? What kind of joke is this? Mumbled Taoist Changfeng. Just then, a gasp of surprise came from the crowd. The tiger demon was lifting its other hand to strike at Jiang Xiaobai's head, but the result was the same. Jiang Xiaobai easily blocked the attack. Old Taoist, this tiger demon doesn't seem so strong. In fact, it seems a bit weak, Jiang Xiaobai shouted. Taoist Changfeng felt his IQ was being tested. He couldn't figure out why Jiang Xiaobai wasn't dead. When Taoist Changfeng thought he had seen Jiang Xiaobai's limits, suddenly, Jiang Xiaobai exerted strength with both hands and directly crushed the tiger demon's wrists. The sound of breaking bones rang out, making everyone's scalp tingle as if their bones were being crushed too. The tiger demon howled in pain as its bones broke, while Jiang Xiaobai used his right hand to grab its wrist and smashed it into the ground. Boom! The ground started shaking. The tiger demon left a human-shaped pit in the ground. The crowd was shocked to find out that the tiger demon was actually smashed to death by Jiang Xiaobai. It's impossible. How could this be? It can't be. Taoist Changfeng stood stunned on the spot. Not only him, everyone was the same. The only person who was shouting and cheering was Li Qingzhou. Awesome. Brother Xiaobai is so strong. You've easily killed the powerful tiger demon. Upon hearing Li Qingzhou's shout, everyone came back to their senses. Jiang Xiaobai had killed the tiger demon all by himself. Taoist Changfeng had previously claimed that the tiger demon was only pretending to be seriously injured. This proved Jiang Xiaobai's strength. Although his method of killing the tiger demon was simple and crude, it ignited passion in everyone's hearts. Well done. Well done. I didn't expect you to be this powerful, young man. A hero. You're a hero. The common people cheered. The monster that had been troubling them for so long was taken care of by Jiang Xiaobai. Their hearts were filled with joy. Taoist Changfeng stood confused. He couldn't understand how everything that he had planned could have turned out like this. He felt like the tiger demon was just teasing him. Damn it! How did you do it? Taoist Changfeng glared at Jiang Xiaobai, feeling a burning pain on his face. His frustration wasn't only because Jiang Xiaobai hadn't been killed by him. He was also upset because Jiang Xiaobai had stolen his thunder. This great opportunity was squandered by him. Not only did he fail to get the treasure, he also lost the attention that he loved. He was about to explode. Jiang Xiaobai showed an innocent smile. I don't know either. This tiger demon is very weak. I didn't sense any strength from him. You. Taoist Changfeng pointed at Jiang Xiaobai, but he was so furious that he couldn't speak. He felt like he was about to pass out. Ahem, Taoist Changfeng, please calm down. Lord Sun didn't know what to say and had to resort to suggesting a step down. After hearing these words, Taoist Changfeng got even angrier. He gave a cold scoff, turned around, and walked away. He had lost his dignity and reputation. Why should he continue to stay here? Jiang Xiaobai sneered at the sight of this. He thought, you couldn't even handle me, yet you dared to plot against me. Are you looking for death? After dealing with the tiger demon, Jiang Xiaobai had become a well-respected figure in Spring Lake City, especially since he was also a cultivator, which made people admire him even more. Jiang Xiaobai had to join Li Qingzhou and the others back to Spring Lake City. The city lord's mansion and the Li family hosted a grand celebration banquet. After a quick meal, Jiang Xiaobai excused himself saying that he had important things to do. He then declined both parties' offers of rewards and left Spring Lake City. To him, time was of the essence. He had to travel to other places if there were no gains in the southern mountains. The ancient family was coming soon. once again back in the southern mountains, Jiang Xiaobai felt much at peace without Li Qingzhou screaming in his ear. After ensuring that there was no problem in his surroundings, Jiang Xiaobai started to scan the area with psychic power. Wherever his psychic power went, everything was crystal clear. He immediately spotted a suspicious area where an array seemed to be hidden, but it was very rudimentary. Also, there was demonic energy all around. There indeed appeared to be a demon king in the southern mountains. Next, Jiang Xiaobai snorted coldly. An upper sky spirit treasured sword appeared in his hand. He leaped and flew towards where the demon king was hiding. Not long after he left, two figures appeared wrapped in black bandages. The first figure, slightly taller, slapped the second figure, Lao Er, on the head as soon as he showed up. "You mutt, hurry up and find that man for me. If you waste any more of my time, I will kill you." Lao Er quickly nodded. A small arrow appeared in his hands. He formed a seal with his hands, and the arrow floated in midair. After rotating for a bit, the arrow pointed in a certain direction. "Big brother, I found him, he's over there." "Then what are you waiting for? Aren't you going to chase him?" Lao Er got another slap from his boss, who then flew off to chase Jiang Xiaobai. At this time, Jiang Xiaobai was already standing at the entrance of a cave. After carefully observing, he found that although there was an array here, it only served to block off detection. It had no other purposes. Jiang Xiaobai pulled out his sword and prepared to rush into the cave. "Congratulations, host, for triggering a selection. Option 1, kill the demon king in the cave, reward, 1 piece of an upper sky spirit treasure. Option 2, kill all the demons on the southern mountains, reward, 1 random nascent soul stage talisman. Option 3, ignore, reward, random teleportation for the host, unlimited distance and space." Jiang Xiaobai stared at the third option, lost in thought. Teleportation seemed exaggerated. What if he were teleported to a dangerous place? Wouldn't he be killed instantly? Without a second thought, he chose the second option. Holding his sword, he rushed into the cave. "Demon, prepare to die." Chapter 60, Chapter 60, Chapter 60, Why do you treat me like a fool? You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 60, Chapter 60, Why do you treat me like a fool? Translator, 549690339. Jiang Xiaobai roared as he charged into the cave. Within 2 seconds he saw a mid-golden core black bear essence. Seeing this, a smile crossed his face. "Ha, I bet you're the kind to steal cassocks in the future." Despite his constant teasing, there was no hesitation in Jiang Xiaobai's sword. With a swift strike, blood spattered. It was merely a mid-golden core creature. Jiang Xiaobai could easily slay it. After killing it, he started searching the cave and discovered several storage rings. Upon inspection, they contained some pretty decent items. Once he confirmed that the cave had nothing else valuable, Jiang Xiaobai turned towards the black bear which, after its death, had reverted to its original form, a 3-meter-tall black bear. This creature's body was all treasure. Jiang Xiaobai didn't hesitate and directly put the corpse into his storage space. Then, he rushed out of the cave, and headed straight to another location, the backside of the Nan Mountain. There was another such hidden cave there, however. This one didn't have any array to mask its aura. Jiang Xiaobai could clearly sense the presence of a nascent soul monster. In theory, such a monster could rule outside, call for tens of thousands of monsters to serve as its minion with just one roar, but it chose to camp in the Nan Mountain, which indicated that there was indeed something fishy about the mountain. Jiang Xiaobai couldn't wait to use the meandering veins record to investigate the condition of the Nan Mountain. The first thing he needed to do now was to kill this last monster. Then, he carried out his work succinctly and decisively, rushing into the cave with his sword, wildly hacking at the ape demon inside, killing it within a few strokes. However, he found no storage rings in this cave. Jiang Xiaobai even suspected that this demon had never taken a step outside the cave. Moreover, as soon as he entered Nan Mountain, he noticed that the spiritual energy here was extremely rich. It confirmed his suspicion. There must be spirit stone veins under the ground. He was anxious to uncover the secrets hidden in the Nan Mountain. A few moments later, just as he stepped out of the cave and was about to take out the meandering veins record, two figures wrapped in pitch-black bandages suddenly appeared. Both of them emanated the aura of the mid-nascent soul stage. Jiang Xiaobai quickly went on high alert, scrutinizing these two peculiar figures. Brother, that's him. His aura matches, the object is definitely on him. Lao Er pointed at Jiang Xiaobai and shouted. Big Brother nodded, the only exposed pair of eyes gleamed with relief. At least Lao Er was reliable this time. Naive chi refining kid, I've been looking for you for a long time. Hand over the item and I might let you live, Big Brother said as he stared at Jiang Xiaobai. Just then, Lao Er interjected, Brother, our employer said not to let anyone know about this. He took the treasure. We can't let him survive. You idiot. Isn't that why I'm trying to get the item first? Once I have it, I'll snap his neck. Big Brother scolded furiously. Good point, brother. The eyes of Lao Er, visible through the bandages, flashed insightfully. Then, he looked at Jiang Xiaobai. Hurry up and hand over the item, we guarantee we won't kill you. Jiang Xiaobai just stood there with a stunned look on his face. These two must have some sort of problem in their heads, acting as though he was deaf. Moreover, they were speaking so loudly, how could he not hear them? Subsequently, Jiang Xiaobai cleared his throat and asked, Why are you two treating me like a fool? You idiot. Now he's figured us out, Big Brother scolded, giving Lao Er a slap on the head. Brother, shall we just attack him? Humph. Do I need you to tell me that? Obviously, we have to kill him. The item is surely on him. After their somewhat idiotic conversation ended, both of them turned their attention to Jiang Xiaobai. Just as they were preparing to attack, Jiang Xiaobai suddenly raised his hand. Hold on a moment. Jiang Xiaobai said with a smile, I have no grudge against you two, old or new. If you insist on fighting, at least tell me the reason, won't you? The reason is simple, you took something that belongs to our employer. It can't be known by others. You must not only return it, but you also have to die. My Big Brother said, only the dead can keep secrets. Lao Er shouted. Big Brother nodded approvingly, correct. Be good and I might even consider leaving you a complete corpse. So you two not only want to treat me as a fool but also willing to fight me to the death. A twitch appeared at the corners of Jiang Xiaobai's mouth. What kinds of weird creatures have you run into? Yes, you must die today. Enough chatter, attack. The two of them moved like ghosts, and within moments, the black bandages that wrapped them fell off. To his surprise, these bandages conjured a sword mid-air. What's more, Jiang Xiaobai found that under the removed bandages, there was another layer of it. What were they, mummies? Clang! While Jiang Xiaobai was stunned, he swiftly raised his sword to block their attack as the sound of metal clashing echoed throughout the dense forest. After blocking their initial attack, Jiang Xiaobai forcefully pushed them back and rapidly retreated. They were two individuals, but only at the mid-nascent soul stage. If Jiang Xiaobai hadn't received the reward of 100 years of cultivation, he might have run away at the sight of them, but things were different now. He was at the late nascent soul stage peak. He had no reason to be afraid. After gaining some distance, Jiang Xiaobai wielded his sword. With him at the center, sword energy burst forth, with countless rays of sword light striking the mummy-like brothers. The two were battle-hardened veterans. They started to retreat immediately. Their black bandages extended and blocked Jiang Xiaobai's sword energy. Clang, clang, clang. The crisp, intense sounds of metal collision filled the air. In just a few seconds, the two had withstood hundreds of sword energy attacks, causing them to retreat continuously. A smile appeared at the corners of Jiang Xiaobai's mouth. He knew that the recent reward of cultivation he received wasn't in vain. Not only did his level of cultivation rise, but his combat experience also improved significantly. Brother, he's so strong. Lao Er exclaimed, isn't that obvious? Do I need you to tell me? Big Brother scolded. After they blocked Jiang Xiaobai's first round of attacks, the two mummy-like brothers rushed forward again. Their black bandages flitted in the air like willow branches, targeting the vital parts of Jiang Xiaobai. After a couple of clashes, Jiang Xiaobai realized that while these looked like bandages, they were definitely not weak. Let me show you what a post-heaven spiritual treasure looks like. Jiang Xiaobai sneered in his heart and, instead of retreating, he charged forward. With a swing of his long sword, he slashed at the oncoming bandages. Whoosh, the post-heaven spiritual treasure sliced through the bandages with ease.